In this video, I wanted to revisit even more of Fortnite's best dual weapon combos of all time, right? This is a part 2 of my previous video, so of course, go check out part 1 after you watch this video. Of course, today we're going to talk about even more weapons that just seem like they were meant to be used together, right? These are not just the 2 best weapons in a given season, but 2 weapons or items that just work better together as opposed to being separate. Thank you to all the people who left comments on part 1 that honestly gave me a lot of ideas for items that should be on this list today. With that all being said, if you do go on to enjoy this video, please consider leaving it a like and use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop when you make your next purchase. And yeah, let's revisit even more of Fortnite's best dual weapon combos. Alright, arguably the most popular comment I saw on part 1 of this video was the kill switch revolver and Robin's grappler slash kind of the base boost that weapon combo. And it makes total sense that this combo should be on this list, right? I feel like for me, it's mainly the kill switch revolvers and Robin's grappler, but I feel like the base boost, right, or just any item that can get you up to height very quickly and above somebody is going to really work well when paired with the kill switch revolvers. But again, I feel like especially Robin's grappler, right, where it's just so easy to just switch directions so quickly, and obviously, you know, I'm referring to being able to cancel out this grappler. It just makes it insane when you pair it with the kill switch revolvers, being able to freeze in midair wherever you want, and then just fly forward using that momentum and then stop again midair and then fly forward again. It's just absolutely insane. Great dual weapon combo. I can't believe I missed it in part 1, but it will definitely make it here today in part 2. But no, we're absolutely not done with Chapter 6, Season 3, because one of the most obvious ones that I can't believe I missed is the Mist form plus the Mist gauntlets, which, as you guys know, equals Ascended Mist. All right, I know it's a little bit of a cheap bait, but you can't deny, right, these 2 weapons arguably work better than any weapons slash items in Fortnite history, right? Because literally to get the Ascended Mist, you need these 2 items. Now, I'm not saying that the Ascended Mist item is like the best item Fortnite's ever seen. No, it's not, definitely not. But the fact that you need to pair 2 items together to get it, well, of course, those 2 items have to be a part of the best dual weapon combos ever. Now, look, I think the Mist form and Mist gauntlets separately are a little underwhelming, but once you put it together and make the Ascended Mist, you obviously get more damage. You're obviously immune to damage when you are in the air. It's a pretty cool item, and yeah, although some people might think it's a cheap pick, it definitely deserves to be on this list. Another kind of fun pick that I believe should be here is the Boombo and the Balloon combo. Now, the reason why it's not, you know, RPG and Balloon, right, is because the RPG makes a super loud noise when you shoot it. Everyone can see the rocket flying through the air, but with the Boombo, it's instantaneous, right? The Boombo is silent. The second you let go of the trigger, it will hit the person. And of course, when you're in the air with balloons, right, you are totally silent. Nobody knows you're up there, and it's literally like a mini airstrike from above. This is a great troll tactic that people used to use all the time back in Season 8. Like I said, the ability to be totally silent in the air and just pick people off with those explosions is really cool, and definitely, honestly, I would say an underrated dual weapon combo. But an OG weapon combo that there's no way I could miss this in part 1 or part 2 together, it's going to be the double heavy sniper. So technically this won't be the only time that you see the heavy sniper on this list, right? But I really have to emphasize double heavy snipe. And while yes, it's not as effective when you are the one that has 2 heavy snipers in your inventory, it works the best when you have one and your teammate has one, and you guys can literally coordinate, all right, you shoot the wall and I'll shoot the player healing right behind it instantly. That's more what I'm referring to, right, when I talk about the double heavy snipe and its effectiveness. And I'm not talking about that bum current version of the heavy sniper that's only one-shotting wood walls. No, I'm talking about the OG double heavy sniper, which is one-shotting any wall, which makes this combo so insane. Not to mention, this sniper was doing 150 damage to the body. I have so many clips just stored on my Xbox from back in the day of just sitting here with my boy. All right, I'll call out when you shoot the wall, and then I'll shoot the player behind it. And you could just rattle off such easy kills, and it's so satisfying to do it, right? Because there's almost no way to counter it if you do it correctly. This is just one of the reasons why I hate the fact that they killed the new heavy sniper so badly, because really you can't do double heavy snipe anymore unless they have a wood wall. And this is a combo that was not just like kind of a troll thing, right? You saw legitimate pro players using this combination together. It was legit, and like I said, in the best hands, there is no way that you can counter the double heavy snipe combo. All right, we're taking a quick vacation back to Chapter 6 to talk about what I consider, honestly, a very underrated dual weapon combo. It's the Force Pull, or the purple, you know, Mace Windu lightsaber, and combine that with the Jawa Scatter Blaster. So I feel like the Jawa Scatter Blaster and the Force Pull ability were literally, like, built to be used together, right? Obviously, Force Pull is pretty underwhelming unless you pair it with a shotgun, and oh, would you look at that, the Jawa Scatter Blaster is one of the strongest shotguns we've ever seen in Fortnite, and is literally an absolute blunderbuss at close range, this pairing shouldn't need any real explanation, right? I mean, you just pull the person closer to you, then switch to your shotgun, absolutely blast them for 170 damage. I feel like a lot of people won't think about this combo as being one of the best of all time, but I think it's criminally underrated as a pairing together. And next, I've got one of the most popular dual weapon combos of all time. It's going to be Pump Deagle. Of course, pre-nerf when the deagle could one-shot any wall, and I feel like really this spot just goes for any weapon that can one-shot walls plus a pump shotgun, right? So even think like the heavy sniper and the pump shotgun together, right? But I feel like it's the most effective with Pump Deagle. One, because the deagle was an actual like usable close quarters weapon, whereas the heavy sniper, I mean, we all know it's a sniper. It's not supposed to be used at close range. And how quickly you could switch between Pump Deagle, right? A lot of people wouldn't run a pump in an SMG because they would just run the deagle and the pump together. And pre-nerf, when this deagle was one-shotting walls, this combo was absolutely insane. It was literally everywhere. I remember back in the day vividly watching guys like Tfue just absolutely run lobbies with these two weapons only. And this is a weapon pairing that I honestly cannot believe I missed on part 1, but this was probably the second most popular combo that you guys commented on that video. So again, thank you so much to all of you guys who take the time out of your day to comment on my videos. I really appreciate it, and I genuinely read every single one. And so with that being said, I don't think a lot of you guys are going to be surprised to see this combo on the list today. But one that you might be a little bit more surprised to see on this list are the War Machine Hoverjets paired with Doom's Arcane Gauntlets from Chapter 5, Season 4. Now, if you watched Part 1, spoiler if you haven't, I included War Machine's Hoverjets and Captain America's shield. And yeah, that's a great combo, but so is this pairing, right? I mean, literally anything with War Machine's Hoverjets could really just be considered a great weapon combo, but I feel like it's especially prevalent with Doom's Arcane Gauntlets, just how much damage you can put out with legitimately infinite ammo and two different fire capabilities, right? The ability to either send the huge mystical bomb down on them or the Arcane Gauntlets, and literally you can just fly around in a circle around somebody while they're panicking for their life and just absolutely eviscerate any wall they place, and you could just do it over and over and over again. And I cannot begin to tell you how hard it is to hit somebody who is using the War Machine Hoverjets, because obviously you can't just focus on shooting someone when they've got these big plasma balls just flying at your face. All right, well, okay, that was sus. But anyways, yeah, like I used to absolutely abuse this weapon pairing when I would land at Doom's Castle, and it is just absolutely terrifying to go up against. But now we're going to be going back to Chapter 5, and I've got Flowberry Fizz paired with Shockwave Grenades. Of course, these are not dual weapon combos, these are two items. But if you really go back and watch any pro gameplay from Chapter 5, yeah, obviously they have Flowberry Fizz, but a lot of times for rotation, they would just pop one use of Flowberry Fizz for all the teammates, throw one Shockwave Grenade, and you get great mobility for all three teammates. Shockwave Grenades on their own are good. Flowberry Fizz on its own are good. But when you pair it together as one, you get literally one of the best mobility combos this game has ever seen. It's kind of reminiscent back in the day of like when people used to use bounce pads and then go straight from the bounce pad to the launch pad, and it gives you that like kind of bonus mobility. Again, I feel like this is one of those combos that I can't believe slipped through the cracks in part 1. And again, like if you go back and watch any Chapter 5, just even pub's gameplay, you'll see most of the time people will be carrying Shockwave Grenades and they'll also be carrying Flowberry Fizz as their heals, and so most of the time naturally they were just used together. But finally, let's move on to my final dual weapon combo on this list. I don't even want to know how many times I said dual weapon combo in this video, but anyways, yeah, let's move on to the final one. That, my friends, is going to be the Nitro Fist and Magneto gauntlets from Chapter 5, Season 3. Even saying those two weapons together literally sends shivers down my spine. I hate the fact that I have to remember back to a time when this was actually a thing. Absolutely terrifying to go up against. It's kind of similar to like the grappler and the kill switch revolvers, right? When the Nitro Fists are used to just go straight up in the air, and then once you have that crazy height on someone, you can just absolutely rain down on them with the Magneto gauntlets. Again, like you've heard so many times in this video, right? The Nitro Fists on their own are obviously very good. The Magneto gauntlets on their own are obviously very good. But when you pair them together, it's like, what are you supposed to do to counter somebody who is using this, right? Like you literally can't. In 1 second, you're box fighting somebody, and then, 2 seconds later, you look up in the air and someone's just absolutely raining hellfire upon you. It reminds me of the meme of like the John Wick back in the day of like him jumping off tilted in the trailer and the kid like looking at him screaming in fear. Yeah, that was me in Chapter 5, Season 3, and yeah, honestly, I would like to forget this ever happened, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can probably agree with me as well. All right, guys, I hope you went on to enjoy this video. Unfortunately, I don't think there will be a part 3 unless you guys let me know even more dual weapon combos that you think I missed in the first 2 parts of this video in the comment section down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, as always, please consider leaving it a like and go check out part 1 because it's just as good as this one. With that all being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace.